number 6 and we are up against LÆPS. Today my team will be Omega Sentinel, Pryde and Tigra. I'm taking the maximum of 13 fights. Starting with section 1, I'm gonna be taking path 5, Ebb and Flow Knockdown Nick Fury, Power Snack Peni, Mixmaster Mordo, Footloose Omega Sentinel, path 5 in section 2, Black Cat on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and all the right side mini-bosses as well as the Doom boss. We are going for the win here, so I will be heavily boosted. Up first is a Mr. Negative on Ebb and Flow Knockdown, and right back at it. I'm taking this fight with Pryde, and I have my Recon Mastery set up on, as well as some pretty big boosts. The game plan is pretty simple. All I need to do is build up my prowess, get to my special 2, knock him down to disable the protection and get the Ebb and Flow Fury, and then drop him with a single special. This is a good placement for Mr. Negative, since knocking him down converts his light energy to dark energy, which inflicts a delirium debuff on you, which deals damage and reverses your controls. If you wanna avoid the delirium debuff completely, all you need to do is just not parry Mr. Negative, and that way he has no light energy to convert. Next up is a Jabari Panther on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Heavy Hitter. I'm taking this one with Pryde as well. The plan is the same as the previous fight. I need to get to my special 2, disable the Ebb and Flow protection, and nuke her down with my special 2. Gaining prowess against Jabari Panther removes her Huntress charges, which makes Pryde one of the best counters for her. To disable the protection, I need to parry her twice. The first is to put her cleanse on cooldown so that my second parry will stick. After that, I need to just knock her down with my heavy attack and throw my special 2 for the finish. Next up is a Nick Fury on Ebb and Flow Knockdown, the shared fight, and I will be using Pryde. I have taken this fight before, and usually it's pretty slow, but this time I actually keep using my heavy attack to disable the protection. I won't be using my specials until the very end to finish the fight, because using her specials causes her to lose all her prowess. You need at least 3 prowess to be able to trigger her phasing, and against Nick Fury you wanna be able to phase whenever you have to. When it comes to Nick Fury's specials, usually when I bait his special 1, I want him to have above 5 tactical charges, so that he counters miss. That way I can just dash at him to trigger my phasing and eat it all into my face. I won't take any damage, and the disorient debuff helps me heal up more. During Nick Fury's second phase, he becomes stun immune, so I can no longer parry him. To be able to knock him down, I try to bait his heavy attacks and punish them with my heavy. Disabling the protection in his second life is very useful, since the protection is also lowering the damage he deals to himself. If you don't disable it, it's gonna take a lot longer for him to drop down to 30%. Now that he is so low, all I need to do is bait one more heavy attack and punish it with mine to disable the protection and to get the Ebb and Flow Fury. At that point all I need to do is throw my special 3 to finish the fight. This is a difficult fight, but Kitty makes it look very easy. Then we have a Peni on the Power Snack node in section 1. I will be taking this with Pryde using the White Magneto pre-fight. The plan here is to use the White Magneto pre-fight to gain prowess faster, so I can get unblockable as fast as possible. You really do need the Tigra synergy for this fight for the unblockable. Without it, I can't recommend taking this. When I'm unblockable, I keep doing medium light combos for the rest of the fight. even when she has a special ready. If she throws her special 1, the first hit misses into my face. After that, I spam dash back to avoid the rest of the hits without triggering dexterity. I wanna avoid trigger index so that I don't trigger the power snack node. As for the special 2, again the first hit misses into my face. I block the web shots, and after that I start dashing back as fast as possible to avoid the last hit without triggering dexterity. One last thing to note here is that if the Peni is awakened, her heal blocks deal incinerate damage when they block your healing. That incinerate damage ramps up Kitty Pryde's prowess potency. Then we have the same old Mordo on Mixmaster. I'm using Kitty Pryde with the White Magneto pre-fight. This time I'm doing this fight a little bit differently, and I'm gonna be nuking him down with my special 2. The start of the fight is same as always. I'm using the White Magneto pre-fight to build up prowess faster and only doing medium light combos to play the Mixmaster node. The unblockable from the Tigra synergy gets me easy openings, and as for his specials, I just face them. Now instead of doing this for the rest of the fight, I decide to throw my special 2 and see how it goes. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing this from now on. Makes it a lot faster. And then we have an Omega Sentinel on the Footloose node, and I'm taking this with Tigra. The plan is to nuke her down with a single special 2 before she can even use a single special herself. I used an advanced power boost so that I start the fight with 1 bar of power. That means that I only need to punish 2 of her heavy attacks with mine to reach my special 2. To start the fight, I parried her and hit her once with my light attack to trigger the neutralize. I did that just in case she decided to hit into my block multiple times so that she wouldn't gain any armor ups. But luckily she played nicely and everything went as planned. Next up is a Kitty Pryde on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and I'm taking this with Omega Sentinel, starting with the Cowardice debuff. The plan is to just play this normally with 5-hit combos finishing with mediums and landing intercepts to remove the protection. The Cowardice debuff makes sure that Kitty Pryde can't do anything, because the Cowardice prevents Kitty Pryde from gaining any prowess, and it also removes any prowess that she already had on her. Without prowess she can't phase and she can't go unblockable. She can't do anything really. As far as the placement goes, this is a very good node for Kitty Pryde, but if there is Omega Sentinel or Nimrod available, there really isn't any node that she would shine on. Next up we have a Rintrah on Ebb and Flow Intercept, and I'm taking this with Kitty Pryde. I've taken plenty of Rintrahs this season with Kitty, and this one isn't all that different. I'm gonna be just punishing his special 1 with my heavy attack to knock him down, so that he loses his charges. I wanted to line up the Ebb and Flow Fury passive with my special 2 to speed up this fight quite a lot, but I failed to do that, and this ends up taking quite a bit longer than I hoped. I shouldn't have punished this special 1 with a heavy since he was already at 0 charges, and now I failed to go for an intercept to remove the protection. So I just dash at him and throw my special 2 even with the protection up, and looking back I should have just gone for an intercept and went for my special 3 instead. Now that I lost all my prowess from throwing that special 2, this fight slows down a lot. I'm not in any danger of losing this fight, but I am just wasting time at this point. I really need to get my prowess up and remove the protection. And without thinking, I dashed into his special 1 and lost my prowess again, meaning that now I can't phase again, which in turn means that my crit rating is a lot lower than it could be, which then means that I'm not gaining as much prowess as I should be. Simply put, I'm just playing like an idiot. Finally, after landing a reparry, I can start phasing again. I land an intercept, remove the protection, stack up some prowess and go for my special 3 to finish this fight. Took a lot longer than it should have, but even so, it was a pretty safe fight. And then we have a Black Cat on Ebb and Flow intercept, the shared fight, and I am using Kitty Pryde here. This placement is good because Black Cat can evade on intercepts, which can really mess you up. My plan was to get to my special 2, disable the protection, and nuke her down with a single special before she could inflict that sabotage on me. I had a lot of trouble getting those initial 3 prowess passes to start my phasing, so I lost a lot of HP on blocked hits as well as my recoil masteries. Unfortunately, that means that I do have to use a few potions, because I still have one more kitty fight left. And now with the protection down, I'm just gonna get a few more prowess passives before throwing my special 2 to finish this fight. Just in time before the sabotage. Next up is a Sersi on the Safeguard miniboss node, and I am taking this one with Tigra. I use a combat regeneration boost to help a little bit with the damage from recoil masteries at the start. So the plan here is to get to my special 3 to begin with. Like I showed earlier against a Sersi boss, using the special 3 with Tigra allows you to bypass conduit. Well, to be more specific, it allows your unblockable hits on your specials to bypass conduit, and only the burst damage. I play the start like a normal Tigra fight, punishing everything with my heavy attacks to get to my special 3 faster. Knocking down the opponent with conduit is not a problem, since I will be bypassing it in a little bit. Now with the infinite duration rupture debuff from my special 3, the burst damage on the unblockable hits of my special 2 will not be regenerated by conduit. They completely bypass it. Yeah, just don't tell Kabam. Next up is Ebony on Stunning Reflection miniboss node. I'm using Omega Sentinel, starting with the tracking debuff to completely bypass miss. Using the tracking debuff, I can completely bypass the falter debuff on Ebony Maw. And with Omega Sentinel's immunity to nullify, I don't have to worry about Ebony Maw using his special 1 and nullifying my armor ups or the fury buffs that he places on me. The biggest concern with this fight is Mystic Dispersion, since the fury buffs that he places on me do trigger MD when they expire. But as long as I keep an eye on his power meter, I should be okay. I used a trick with Omega Sentinel and triggered her auto block on purpose to inflict an Incinerate debuff and disabling Stunning Reflection for a little while. The Incinerate debuff will constantly give me power gain from the Polkadot power node. One thing that I do have to mention is that you can't use that auto block to disable Stunning Reflection against mutant opponents, since against mutants your Incinerate debuffs become Plasma debuffs, and Plasma doesn't shut down the Stunning Reflection. So yeah, if you were to try that against a mutant, the stun on your auto block would get reflected back to you, and yeah, that wouldn't be good. Next up we have a Scorpion on the Brute Force mini-boss node, and I'm taking this with Kitty Pryde. I was supposed to have a White Magneto pre-fight on here, but we had a slight mistake and the guy who was supposed to bring a White Magneto brought a Red Magneto, so no pre-fight for me. Luckily it didn't really affect this fight much at all. All I needed to do was change my plan a little bit. I was just gonna do my normal medium light combos and phase in his special one if I needed to. But without the pre-fight, I can't guarantee I would get my prowess back fast enough. So I switched to baiting his special 2s instead, and to prevent him from using his special 1, I bait heavy attacks. Scorpion is very trigger happy with his heavy attack, so this plan worked out very well. Then for my last fight, Dr. Doom boss with Conduit, and I'm using Omega Sentinel, starting with the heal block debuff. I have taken a couple Conduit Doom bosses with Omega Sentinel before, but this is probably the worst one I've done so far. So the plan is to get all 3 of my heal block debuffs up before throwing my special 2, so that I get 4 incinerates from it. After that I need to keep the incinerates as well as the heal blocks paused for as long as I can, preferably for the rest of the fight. So not only do I need to have all 3 heal block debuffs up at the same time, Doom can't have his aura up when I throw my special 2. Otherwise he will resist the last hit and punish me. I failed to line up everything well, so I had to go for my special 2 with only 2 heal block debuffs up. This resulted in my special 2 only inflicting 3 incinerate debuffs. Now my damage isn't as good as I would like it to be, but even with 3 incinerate debuffs it is good enough. Now all I need to do is just keep doing normal combos, finishing them with light attacks to keep the debuffs paused. I try to start stacking up more heal block debuffs on him to line up my next special 2, but this Doom really just likes pounding my block with full combos, which again caused me to mess up the timing on everything, and I couldn't get a special 2 off. And now I'm stuck at my special 3. If I use it now, I consume all the incinerate debuffs on Dr. Doom and deal a certain amount of burst damage. I don't wanna do that because then I lose my damage over time. Since the incinerate debuffs are still up on Doom, I do my best to keep them paused for as long as I can. After they drop, I go for my special 3 to inflict another set of incinerates. If the opponent has no incinerate debuffs, when you throw your special 3, it inflicts 6 of them. And looking back at this, I should probably switch into doing special 3 to begin with. At least if I don't line up the special 2 perfectly. I get a heal block up before using my special 3, so that the incinerates can start doing damage right after the animation ends. Otherwise I would lose out on damage, since Conduit would be regenerating 80% of all damage he's taking. Now all I need to do is just make sure that the debuffs don't drop until Doom does. I did get the solo, but this is definitely the worst Doom boss I've taken with Omega Sentinel so far. And that marks the end of this war. My group ended up beating theirs 3-1, and we ended up winning the war 12-3.